As promised from last night's Prime Minister's Questions stream, we're going to address something that happened within the Labour Party back on Tuesday, today on Thursday because I couldn't be bothered to do it yesterday because something better came up, where Labour have kind of turned in upon themselves like a neutron star because they've now got a position on Brexit. What is that position, you might ask? Well, I'm glad you asked, because Labour now back Remain in the sense that they are willing to call for another referendum to prevent no deal from happening. So, given the choice of leaving without a deal, they would rather go back to the people because best 2 out of 3, where they can then summarily use scaremongery to say, if we don't have a deal though, we won't have this, 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 this and this. And of course, another referendum means we'll totally get a consensus when you lose again. This all comes from a video interview with Jeremy Hunt with the BBC, and I'm going to play a few clips of it because I think we can respond to that. I should now point out the consequences of this when I mentioned the infighting with Labour. Yeah, not going great right now, with Leavers and Remainers getting quite cross with this proposal. There was another gaffe as well, in the sense that he did not rule out leaving the EU if he won a general election, which is considered quite the gaffe. Anyway, to the video.
What I've done is what I think a leader should do, and that is spend some time listening to people. Many of my colleagues have found this a very frustrating experience because they've said, why don't you just tell us what to think? And I said, no, I want to take the movement with me.
I find it very hard to believe that they don't know what to think, and subsequently don't know what you think they should think. I think it's entirely the case that a lot of your MPs, while from Leave constituencies, are Remainers and would rather you push the Remain narrative cause.
I want to take the membership with me. I want to take the unions with me. I want to take the public with us if we can, because this is a very important time for this country.
Okay, so I should say and state quite clearly, Jeremy Corbyn has been pushing a reasonable position of wanting to engage the unions, the membership and the public in getting a consensus. A people's vote on whether the deal is accepted was flouted, touted and suggested. Credit where credit is due for that. However, you make it seem like the first result didn't even happen.
Okay, what about the next election? What will you say at the next election if there's no Brexit by then?
Since Jeremy Corbyn still believes he's the Prime Minister in waiting, I'm sure the answer he is about to give is the most professional answer he could give while not showing any sign that he still thinks he's the Prime Minister in waiting. I'm sure he's going to flex though.
Well, the next election will come when it comes. It could be this October, it could be next year, it could be even 2022. I don't know any more than you do. What you've probably gathered from this discussion is that we have a very large party, a very large membership and many parts to our party and our movement.
Bit of a weird flex, but okay.
We have a democratic process. We will decide very quickly at the start of that campaign exactly what our position will be, because we don't know by that stage whether we'd have left the EU, still in the EU, or in the process of a parliamentary struggle with Johnson or Hunt trying to take us over a cliff edge, and hopefully a majority in Parliament saying we're not going over that cliff edge.
This is an intentional misdirect, and also trying to intentionally mislead the public. They're not going to take us over a cliff edge. They are willing to accept no deal could happen because it is a legal default. You cannot rule something out that is legally binding. If no deal has been agreed upon, by the end of the time limit granted by the original withdrawal agreement, then you don't have a deal. Obviously, it would be best to have a deal of some kind, but even I accept World Trade Organization rules are better than the deal put forward, and there's no way you could negotiate a better deal. Your predecessors couldn't negotiate a better deal. Theresa May's predecessors couldn't renegotiate a better deal. What makes you think you're better? Arrogant, by the way. That's very arrogant.
But we don't know as of now whether Labour is a Leave or Remain party. That's still a question.
We will give people the choice on this. That is surely something that's very important. We respect the result of the referendum. We've been through this whole long parliamentary process for the past 3 years, and we've made it very clear we'll do everything we can to take no deal off the table or stop a damaging deal of the sort that Hunt and Johnson are proposing.
Oddly enough, this can actually be proven. in the sense of what Labour really should stand for based on how the constituencies voted. More than 50% voted to leave the EU. Go and ask the people again, right? I assume because you've got more younger people, those idealists will vote Remain, even though a result has already been given. I get the whole point of going back to the people over and over again to get consensus, but we cast our vote. The country voted to leave. Can you please now just say, we don't just respect the will of the people from 2016, we will enact the will of the people from 2016.